Former city councillor and Liberal MP Adam Vaughan has been appointed senior advisor to the company creating a luxury spa at Ontario Place. Therma Canada says Vaughan's leadership, experience and strong connection to Toronto's waterfront makes him an ideal addition to execute the development of the West Island. Well, Vaughan says he's excited about Therma's vision for the site. Vaughan has previously been a vocal critic of the Ford government's redevelopment of Ontario Place. In the House of Commons in 2019, prior to the plans for a spa being announced, he described the province's prospective plans as a, quote, terrible deficit of imagination. Well, to comment directly on his appointment, we're now joined by Adam Vaughan. It's great to chat with you. Adam, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your role and why did you decide to take it on?
Well, I think I'll deal with why I decided to take it on. It's a great project. It is delivering some phenomenal components to the waterfront. For example, a park the size of Trinity Bellwoods Park, would make it one of the largest waterfront. A free, accessible park with beach to swim at, with trails, with change facilities, with places to watch the sunset. A departure from the old Ontario Place. It'll be free to get into. So that's a big part of it. Originally we had concerns. We had concerns that the casino or a mall might be put on the site, and the Therma facility is not that. It's a water park. It has spa facilities. It's been to the one in Germany. I've been to the one in Romania. They are affordable. They're family fun. They're also a place where you can have some personal time and relax. On balance, I think it's a great project. I think the park is a phenomenal opportunity. The revitalization of Ontario Place is almost impossible without this kind of investment. And so on balance, I'm really happy to be not only advocating for it, but helping deliver some attributes.
Obviously, there's going to be, I'm sure you're expecting some of the criticism, especially considering how vocal of a critic you have been of the Ford government in the past. And we even have a clip of some of the criticism that you've given in the past. Take a listen.
Ontario Place is a cherished part of Toronto's waterfront. But the new provincial government at Queen's Park has put a for sale sign on the site and told the 1.5 million visitors who visited the site last year to scram. Clearly, Doug Ford is no Bill Davis. The Tories at Queen's Park are talking about a mall, or worse, a casino on the waterfront. Oh, wow. What a waste. What a terrible deficit of imagination. The people of Ontario, the folks of our city, the Toronto Liberal caucus want to keep Ontario Place a public place. Hear our call. Ontario Place is a place for all. Ontario Place for all.
Obviously, the development plans have changed since then, Adam, but when we're talking about critics from the NDP, from Liberals, and also from advocacy groups like Ontario Place for All, how do you plan to, massage some of that criticism?
Take a look at the project. I'll give Doug Ford credit when credit is due. He changed plans. He's come up with I think, a really good approach to the waterfront, a good approach to Ontario Place. As I said, the park is phenomenal. The facility, I think people are going to have a lot of fun there, families in particular. But as I said, if there are other things for other people to do, it's a really great addition to Ontario Place. But, when Doug Ford gets it right, he gets it right. When he gets it wrong, I'll be the first to say he's got it wrong. But in this case, I really like the project, and I really like what it does to Ontario Place. The idea of taking down the admissions gates and allowing people free access as they had now, and expanding it. And by expanding it by building acres more park, adding lots more trees, restoring the shoreline, adding beaches, adding places to change and have a shower afterwards, and also having facilities that help pay for things like the restoration of the pods and bringing the Sinisphere back, which currently leaks right now. All of these things have to happen. And I think that on balance, I think it's a good project for Ontario Place. I think the redevelopment of Ontario Place is a good thing for the city, and I think that Doug Ford has listened to the criticism, changed course. We're not getting a casino. We're certainly not getting a mall. We're getting a great, clean, green place for people in Toronto, across Ontario, in fact, to come and enjoy the day.
And in fairness to you, all we've heard is criticism from one side. We really haven't heard from the silent majority of Ontarians how they really feel about this, some who are very much on board. But I do have to ask you, while I have your time, obviously this project has come with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of concern, and a lot of criticism. And most recently, the New York Times article that essentially reported that Therma operated, or that the company operated 6 facilities in Europe, when in reality, Therma had just one outside of Romania's capital, and that during the bidding process, process. Auditors essentially found that they had $1 million euros in the bank, which is about maybe up to $1.5 million Canadian, which, if you're lucky, you can buy a house with that. And it had far less capital to invest in a multi-billion-dollar project here in Ontario. So I just clarify, how does
read the article
Ontario
right to the end? Read the article right to the end, and it starts to line up all your corporations that have invested in or stakeholders in the project. Macquarie Capital, one of the largest infrastructure investments organizations in the world. AHEAT from Austria, which is a major delivery mechanism, a company which works a lot with geothermal heating and cooling. There are others. Sculptor Finance out of New York. We have projects in Manchester. We have projects in Dallas. We have projects in Washington, D.C. What the Auditor General report highlighted was the holding company that's got the bid process in Toronto. It doesn't explain the entire financial structure of Therma. Therma met the financial tests as outlined by Infrastructure Ontario. It met the bid qualifications, and it was scored accordingly. In terms of the idea that the New York Times had that these two facilities we own in Europe have the same logo, well, yeah, we own them. They have the same logo. I don't know why that shocked the New York Times, and I don't think it should shock anyone in Ontario. We presented our bid. It was scored accordingly, and we were judged to have the best proposal for Ontario Place, and we're moving forward with it. And part of that proposal is not just the facility with the water slides and the saunas and the pools and the swimming and the incredible facility we're building, but it's also a new park the size of Trinity Bellwoods Park, right on the water's edge, free for the public to access, with trails, with new beaches, with a partnership with the Mississaugas of the First Nations, building and helping us deliver places for gathering and ceremony. It is an incredible project, and I think the trouble is that people have focused in on the debate and not the proposal. And I think when you look at the proposal, as I have, on balance, you'll see it's a great thing for the waterfront. It's exactly what Ontario Place, except we're not charging people to get on the property. And finally, I think most importantly, it reflects the true spirit of what we want in the city, which is a place to come down to the lake, jump in the water if you want to, watch the sunset if you need to, walk your dog if that's your thing, or just simply fly a kite. It's all those things. And that's why I think it's a great proposal. That's why it's got my support. And that's why when Doug Ford gets it right, I'm prepared to say that Doug Ford has got it right.
So, Adam, just to silence some of the critics on your side of the political aisle, from those on NDP and Liberals and Ontario Place for All, that Therma did not persuade the Ontario government that its business portfolio that was actually larger than it was.
No, and if you look at the bid documents, it's pretty clear. What we have on our team are people that have designed, built, and operated 6 of the largest facilities of this kind in Europe, 2 of which we happen to own right now. So it was never misrepresented. It was clarified through the bid process, and the Auditor General report tracks that, raises it an issue. But at the end of the day, when they assessed our financial capacity, when they assessed our experience in building and delivering facilities of this kind, and when they looked at the actual project, it was awarded the bin over 30 other competitors. So for me, the issue isn't what happened 6 months ago or 2 years ago. The issue for me is, what kind of park are we building? How do we include more of the voices of the public to make sure that park is as great a park as I think it can be? How do we make sure the facility we deliver is as fun as we say it's going to be, and is as beautiful as we say it's going to be? And I think that the time is now for Toronto, in particular, as we move through some pretty tricky economic times, to embrace someone who's coming to the city to build a wonderful project with capital from the global markets. This is a way to grow Toronto, and to grow it beautifully, to grow in a way that I think is consistent with the vision of a clean, green waterfront for all. And that's why I think it's important to get behind it and make it as spectacular as we know we can make it.
I'm sure a lot of people are very excited about this development, and the fact that this has been an underused stretch of real estate in Toronto for far too long. Adam Vaughan, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best with your new appointment, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thank you.